I should say most of the propositions and proposals that have been put forward and the discussions are very feasible, and with time I'm sure the ECA can fulfill the mandate of the Continental Free Trade Area. I think the major thing is that the regional economic groupings should build into the Continental Free Trade Area for it to materialize as stated in its agenda for the, I don't know the time frame that has been put there, but the consultation, this is like a consultation process that has taken place, so it's a good idea, and I'm sure it will feed into the different regs, which will come back with a plausible outcomes so that the continental agenda can be fulfilled. Generally, I'm convinced that it's a practical idea. One of the major challenges we have, like in Malawi, is the response from the private sector. We have a bit weak private sector which is not able to take the policies which are agreed at regional level to translate them into action at national level. And sometimes it's maybe due to lack of information, but we try as much as possible before we go for negotiations, we consult the private sector, the civil society, the academia, so that we have an informed position when we're going for negotiations. But when it comes to implementation, it's the private sector which has to undertake the implementation. It's not government. So we do our part, but the private sector sometimes is the one which is not responsive. I could say it's mainly the capacity issue problem, and maybe the infant level of most of the industries, but mostly is the capacity issue, because most of the people don't join us when we're going for negotiations, so they don't have the adequate skills to translate what policies government has put in place at regional level to national level and for implementation. So I think there's need to build even the private sector capacity, apart from the usual government capacity, which is always looked at by the cooperating partners. But apart from that, as you may know, that Malawi is just a small economy. Most of the players are not that developed, and we have a problem of the lack of capacity in undertaking most of the major projects that are supposed to be taken maybe at national level. So most of the people are small players who could not have an impact when we want to carry out major implementation issues. The project is feasible, but we will need support from our neighboring countries and the region as a whole, maybe at SADC level, because it's a major project, and as you might be aware, that project will really cut down on transportation costs for Malawi by 60%. So it's really a major initiative which, if implemented or if done, it would really help Malawi to open it to the outside market. And currently, there are negotiations going on with our neighboring countries so that they should come in and accept the project so that we should move forward together. But I cannot comment much because I'm not in the infrastructure desk, but that's what I know, that it needs cooperation from other neighboring states who also benefit from from its operation. The major experience we have had in my country is that most of the aid for trade initiatives have not been addressing the fundamental issues that we face as a country. When we request for technical assistance or financial assistance, they would provide us financial assistance for capacity building, human capacity building, workshops, trainings for exporters, for government officials or whatever, and maybe do consultancies, studies. But when we request for implementation of big projects, to open up our market, like establishing of a National Standards Bureau, which we don't have international accreditation at the moment. They would say they don't have resources for that. They only have resources for capacity building at that level which I've mentioned. So the major problem is for us to meet international levels standards when we are producing our products and exporting to the international markets. So we would want to address the fundamental issues like meeting the sanitary and phytosanitary measures, the standards at international level, and address most of the supply side constraints which need a lot of capital financing. So that's where we need most of the assistance. Some of them, yes, they are being done at the regional level, but most of them are maybe bilateral donors who are coming in with some major projects. But it's trickling down, it's trickling in maybe not the way we wanted it. We would have wanted it yesterday, but it seems like it's taking a long time to take us to where we want to be. As an individual, I feel very enriched with the experiences I've gathered from other member states and from other RECs which are represented here. And I feel if all the discussions and all the proposals are taken on board, I think we can move together as a continent. And as a representative of my government, I also feel our country stands to benefit from most of the programs that have been proposed in this meeting. And it will call for implementation, because discussion is one thing, but implementation at the national level is another thing. So I would think that this is a fruitful meeting, and we look forward to fulfillment of the roadmap that has been agreed in this meeting. But for SADC, I can't comment because I know it's a big region. I can't comment on their behalf, but I'm sure if we can take whatever has been proposed at continental level, it will be acceptable at regional level, because most of the programs are already being undertaken under REC and under SADC. I would love to have a big export market with a lot of products with value added, and a lot of industries coming into Malawi to produce for export, because we have a lot of raw materials, but we normally don't add value because of the capacity problems that we have. So I would love to see Malawi participating at regional level, just like other neighboring states are doing, and be competitive on the international market. Very optimistic, because the government has set a number of priorities which we are following and will take us there.